the number two. We're at number two already. There you go. Lop return wars. The problem is deeper than spam filters. Stratum V1 has to die. This is from Omaha. May 10th. Bitcoin territory. 14 comments. 2015 cents. Keyan. What's this?
Yeah, I think they're, sort of using the attention around off return to
Are those rare peppies?
discuss mining centralization and, mostly centralization around block template creation. And, calls it, identifies it as a Stratum V1 problem. And that we should really be, and, part of how he ties it into the op return drama is a lot of the op return stuff is about mempool consistency and the fact that when people's mempools, we could rely on people's mempools being mostly the same. It provides certain advantages to the network. And he's basically arguing that it's not really that big of a deal that they're all consistent. And we should really be making sure that block templates can be inconsistent. And that's what he thinks we should really be talking about more. And then at the end, he, promotes Datum and Ocean as really the only pool right now that you can use, at least that's publicly available, that allows miners to make their own block templates on the pool. And yeah, that's kind of the post. It was, I don't think it was basically getting around the knots versus core issue. Although he did group, I commented on there, he did group his advocacy for Ocean and Datum with running knots, which is not required. You can run core with Ocean and Datum. But yeah, I thought, in general, it's a good post. We need more people. This is, I think, a bigger systemic problem than op return. Op return is a nice issue that everyone can kind of talk about and have an opinion. We discussed it last night at dinner, even with folks who are maybe not spending all their time talking about Bitcoin stuff. But this is more important.
What do you got, Topher?
Oh, I agree. It's kind of funny, like, just how wrong Satoshi was about this. Like, that everybody would just be using a single CPU to mine. Some of the earliest forks of Bitcoin was to try and add ASIC resistance to the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Litecoin tried to do this. They failed. Monero, I think, is the only one that's been successful in implementing like an alternative proof of work mechanism. But I feel like even if Monero got popular enough that companies would figure out a way to do some sort of ASIC that would work with Monero's RandomX instruction set. So yeah, it's just interesting how like the whole idea of mining pools just came out of nowhere and just took over. So I kind of agree, like mining pools are too centralized, and yeah, that he has like a really he has a Twitter post that he screenshotted in here, yeah, where it's like every other pool is your hash my block, and I feel like that's like really powerful because that is like, I think the crux of the issue is that that people that are contributing hash aren't contributing block templates, they aren't running a node, they're just providing dumb hash. And it's centralizing the hash to whoever the pool operator is. And it's a very, very strong centralizing force. And there's a lot of perverse incentives around that. And yeah, I don't know what you do about it. But I guess killing Stratum V1 is one way to go about it. Yeah, like I agree with the premise that like this is a big issue, like even bigger than op return or anything else.
All right, let's see what the stackers say. Stackers top comments. Simple Stacker at the top comment said, "Now I think I should run knots." Optimism said,
Interesting is
"Why?"
he came back, I think, the next day, and
And then Darth Quinn posted this. I don't know.
he came back the next day and said he was syncing a new node on a Raspberry Pi, and it took him, I think, 2 or 3 times the amount of time to sync his node because of the size of the UTXO set. So I don't know if he would agree with himself the day prior about running knots. And I'm not talking about the video.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at it again because Darth is hilarious.
It's a pretty silly video.
I think he's saying that, does it make a difference? I don't know what he's saying with that video, but he'll tell me later. Cool. What else you got, Keyan? Anything else on this? I mean, you've been reading about it all this week, talking about it.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say on the op return stuff. I think there've been some great posts about it and some great discussions.
What's going on with Stratum V2?
So Stratum V2 has its first pool,
Okay.
demand pool, but I think it's in private beta right now.
Yeah.
So it's not open to the public. You can't get access to it as easily as you can Ocean's pool. But what's in contrast to Ocean's pool, I believe their pool server is open source, and they've been more transparent about how they deal with the fees that different block template miners how they deal with the differences in fees between blocks. And a lot of people asked that question of Jason, who is, I think, CTO at Ocean during the Bitcoin Plus conference, and he sort of dodged it. But
Okay.
yeah, but that's what's going on with Stratum V2.
Right.
It's like out. People are beginning to work with it.
Cool.
Very slowly.
Yeah, it'll be slow. And adoption of these new protocols will be hard because they require the miner to do more work.
Yeah.
That isn't just provide hash.
Yeah. Yeah.